Each year, more than 15 billion trees are cut down. According to various estimates, the global tree count has fallen by 46% since the beginning of human civilization. Continued deforestation has led to climate change and loss of habitat for millions. In Kenya, the forest cover is less than 2.5%. Various methods have been used with varying degrees of success in combating this issue. Boston Yar is a co-founder and general manager of Jikokoa. The company is a manufacturer of modern and clean cooking stoves.
We made the Jikokoa for a different reason than people buy it. People buy it because they want to save money, but we made it because the trees are disappearing. So we all care about trees, but we don't believe, I want to go plant trees everywhere, but it's not as effective if you want to get the forests coming back. The best thing you can do is reduce the amount that people are using, and you can't go force everybody to use less charcoal. You can only do it by offering a good product, by making something that people really want to use. It makes their life easier. So what we did is we took a spin on saving trees, and we said, what's the most commercial, scalable way to save trees, right? Let's make a product that everybody's gonna go, they're gonna go in the supermarket and go pick one up, and they're gonna save 60% of their charcoal. And now the trees can start to resist the deforestation.
30-year-old Boston is a biomedical engineering graduate from the University of Rochester. He opted for entrepreneurship as he was passionate about clean energy solutions.
I opted for entrepreneurship because it was what I believed in. I didn't necessarily care if I worked for myself or somebody else, but I knew that this was the right thing to do. I saw myself and the other co-founders, we saw the opportunity, both the market opportunity, but also the huge need, right? You can see the forest disappearing. So who's gonna do something, right? And there are people doing something, but we wanna be one of the people doing something to fight against deforestation, to fight against poverty caused by spending 30% of your income on macaw, right? So if I could have found somebody else who I believed in, I would have gone and worked for them, right? So for me, it was more of an ethical thing. I thought this was the right thing to do, and I thought that we had an idea that could fight this problem better than what else I was exposed to.
BURN-Jikokoa's parent company was formed in 2013. Boston remembers nostalgically about the first prototype that the company came up with. He might have been proud, but not everyone was enthused.
When we were just doing our research and development, we had our first prototype, which in the lab was amazing. And we thought it was beautiful. Like any parent of a child, you think that it's gorgeous. But then we took it into to see potential customers and into some focus groups and mostly Kenyan women. And they were like, what's that thing? They thought that it was maybe like a spaceship, or like it just looked weird. But to us it looked cool, but we're not buying the product. So what we learned there is that you've gotta center your products deep in Kenyan families' homes.
They were not disheartened. Instead, the team went back to the drawing board.
So we went through 2.5 years of work to develop the product into the place where it was a very in-demand product. And once we did a focus group and everybody said, no, let me buy that right here today. And we said, no, we only have one prototype. I can't sell you the one prototype. That day we knew that we were ready to go, right? And so that was the first Jikokoa. After 2.5 years of work, and we launched our factory in Nairobi in August of 2013 to do that.
While an ordinary traditional jiko costs 300 Kenya shillings, a Jikokoa costs 3,990 Kenya shillings. However, as Boston explains, implementing the feedback the company gets from its clients is what sets the company apart.
The thing that makes Jikokoa unique and different is all of the work that we put in 2.5 years before launching Jikokoa G1, and then the 3 years since improving from G1 to G3. We're we're really focusing on consumer experience. We want it to be fast to light, easy to use, cooks your ugali perfectly, cooks your githeri perfectly, no smoke, right? Easy to remove the ash. So there's an easy to remove ashtray. So when you're finished cooking, you don't have to turn your Jiko upside down and shake it with the ash coming everywhere. You just take the ashtray out, go outside, dump it out. And so we're focused on making people's experiences more comfortable, better, easier. And that's why the Jikokoa is so popular.
According to a 2013 Kenya fuel study, 87% of Kenyans use solid fuel as the primary fuel source for cooking, while 5% utilize kerosene as the primary fuel.
One of the biggest challenges that we face with the Jikokoa is we have a Jiko that's, right now it's $39.90. And you're talking about the comparison with 300 shillings, 500 shillings, maybe 250, right? And so, okay, now I can go buy a normal Jiko, ceramic Jiko for 250, 300. Why should I go pay 10 times the amount for your Jiko, right? And there's a lot of risk you have to take as a consumer to invest and try in this new technology, because what happens if it doesn't work, like we say?
In order to increase awareness of its products, the enterprise has come up with a unique way of getting the product in people's kitchens.
We've done some other things to help consumers with that upfront risk, right? Whether it be options for microcredit, so you don't have to come pay 3,990 shillings on day one. You can take your risk and spread it out over 6 months or 9 months or a year. We've also introduced a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you buy the Jikokoa, you can take that risk on day one, and if you take it home on day two and you don't like it, right, we say it's going to save 60% of your charcoal, but you find that it doesn't save anything. Now, you can call us, we'll pay for the shipping, send it back to us, and we send you your money back in pesa. No questions asked within 14 days. So we're trying to provide opportunity for people to avoid that risk up front. Secondly is just awareness.
Since inception, more than 205,000 Jikokoa stoves have been sold in Kenya alone. They are available in supermarkets and dukas. Appointed agents also help in distributing the Jikos.
We market the Jikokoa in a variety of different ways. We do radio campaigns and product placement. Our great friend and brand ambassador, Jackie from Papa Sharandula, who plays Will Broda, she's a great friend of Jikokoa, and she's helped us really reach a lot of people and make the product seem tangible and accessible. But more importantly, when you have something new, someone needs to see it working. If I promise you this will save you 2/3 of your money, you want to see it.
Jikokoa currently has more than 120 employees on its roster. Of this, half are women. Recently, the company launched yet another product that they hope will revolutionize the clean energy sector.
The Kuniokoa uses firewood. It's a household firewood stove. And about 2/3 or 3/4 of Kenyans use firewood for cooking every day, right? And only about 1/4 use charcoal, something like that. So we have a charcoal stove, which is great, but that only hits 1 out of 4 people, right? Everybody's got family up country, lots of family up country who's using Kuni to cook. And so we didn't just want to make a product for 1/4 of the country, we want to make products for everybody, no matter what they're using to cook. So the Kuniokoa is designed exactly for families who use Kuni, more rural families. And specifically, the problem is when you're using a 3-stone fire, it's extremely smoky. So the Kuniokoa greatly reduces that smoke.
So, what message does Boston Nyar have for budding entrepreneurs?
Always be critical of what you think you know, right? So if you think you know which is the right direction to go in that direction, but question it, right? If you learn something else 6 months down the road that would make you change your mind, be flexible and be able to change your mind. And listen to your customers, right? So if your customer is saying, I want a Jiko that has more firepower, it's hotter, or I want a Jiko that can do choma, right? Should I just ignore everybody for 5 or 10 years, or should we change what we're doing based on the market, right? So be flexible and keep your eyes and ears open and be critical of your plans.
This factory in Ruiru can manufacture between 500 and 600 stoves a day. Nevertheless, if the need arises, they can scale up production to 1,500 Jikos. While the invention of Jikokoa and Kuniokoa might have earned Boston and the company countless awards, he insists that it is the validation from clients that keeps him going every day.
The awards that we've won are validation, but to me, it's almost like stroking your ego. It's not that important at the end of the day. The important thing for us is we go walk into someone's home who's a Jikokoa customer and they love the product and it's making their life easier. We want validation from someone who's using the stove, from a Kenyan mother of 3 or 5. She's the one who we want to win over. She's the one who we want to validate our product because we've made the product for her. And she's also the one who's going to tell everybody, buy this product, Jikokoa. So I find more contentment when I go speak with, Mary Wanjiku in Embu, right? And she says, oh my God, I've saved, 300 bob this week, and I love the product. I've recommended it to my 2 sisters. That to me is worth more than some award.